Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to be reading Dr. Seuss' book called On Beyond Zebra. Again, this is a much older book. It's been around for a while. So this is a story where they start talking about made up letters of the alphabet. And the alphabet that they talk about in this book is the English alphabet. And it goes beyond the letter Z. So let's read On Beyond the Zebra. Said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell, my very young friend who is learning to spell. The A is for apple, and B is for bear, and the C for camel. The H is for hare. The M is for mouse, and the R for rat. I know all 26 letters like that. Through to Z is for zebra. I know them all well, said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell. So now I know everything anyone knows, from beginning to end, from the start to the close, because Z is as far as the alphabet goes. So one kid is trying to tell him it only goes to Z, but the other one's going, not so fast. Then he almost fell flat on his face on the floor when I picked up the chalk and drew one letter more, a letter he never had dreamed up before, and I said, you can stop if you want with the Z, because most people stop with the Z, but not me. In the places I go, there are things that I see that I never could spell if I stopped with the Z. I'm telling you this because you're one of my friends. My alphabet starts where your alphabet ends. My alphabet starts with a letter called Yuz. It's the letter I used to spell Yuza Matuz. You'll be sort of surprised that there is to be found once you go beyond Z and start poking around. So I guess that's the letter called Yuz, and it spells Yuzamatuz. Yuzamatuz. So, on beyond zebra, explore like Columbus. Discover new letters like Wum is for Wumbus. My high-sprouting whale who lives high on the hill and who never comes down till it's time to refill. So on beyond Z is high time you've shown that you really don't know all there is to be known. Then just step a step further past Wum is for Wummus, and there you'll find and the is for Umbus, a sort of a cow with one head and one tail. But to milk this great cow, you'll need more than one pail. She has 98 faucets that give milk quite nicely, perhaps 99. I forgot just precisely. And boy, she is something most people don't see, because most people stop at the letter Z. But not me. I ramble, I scramble through swamp and through swamp. There the letters get better, like letters like humph. There's a real handy letter. That's handy. What's handy about it? You just can't spell humph a dumpher without it. I guess that's a humph dumper. Oh, look. It looks like a truffle tree, huh? If you stay home with zebra, you're stuck in a rut. But on beyond zebra, you're anything but. Why, I know a fine fancy letter called fuddle. I use it in spelling Miss Fuddle-de-Duddle. And oh, what a bird dove. Her tail is the longest that's ever been heard of. So long and so fancy she's been in a fix. If she didn't have helpers, it takes about 6 to tag along hoist Miss Fuddledee Duddle's wonderful tail out of muddle-dee puddles. So he's drawn all these different letters. He comes after the letter Z. And Glick is for Glicker, who lives in the wild weeds and spends his time juggling fresh cinnamon seeds, which he's usually able to find in great number, except of course in the mouth of Septumber. I guess that's a Septumber he's eating. What kind of seeds? Cinnamon seeds. When cinnamon seeds aren't around in great number, so that month he juggles with seeds of cucumber. And Na is the letter I used to spell nutches, who lives in small caves known as niches for hutches. These nutches are troubles, the biggest of which is the fact there are many more nutches than niches. Each nutch is a niche knows that some other nutch would like to move into his niche very much. So each nutch is a niche has to watch that small niche, or nutches who haven't got niches with snitch. Whew, that is a tongue tire. Then we go on to Snee. And Snee is for Sneedle, a terrible kind of ferocious mosquito, whose humdinger stinger is sharp as a needle. The Sneedle's too tough to be killed with a smack, so he has to be hunted on elephant back. And your eyes in the elephants have to be keen, and you have to aim fast, and you have to hit clean. And the bullet you shoot in the stale navy bean, a stale navy bean. So some of you eat some navy beans. He's saying to catch them, you have to use, this is usually like a rubber band with a type of, used to be wood. Sometimes they're made of plastic now. You have to take that little tiny navy bean and try to catch what they call is a mosquito. So, that you've dunked for 3 weeks, that the navy bean's telling you, that you've dunked for 3 weeks in old sour kerosene, which is awfully hard work, so it's easy to see why most people stop at the Z, but not me. When you go beyond zebra, who knows? There's no telling what wonderful things you might find yourself spelling. Like Quan is for quandary, who lives on a shelf in a hole in the ocean alone by himself. And he worries each day from the dawn's early light. He just stands there and worries. He simply can't stop in his top side, his bottom, or bottom side top. So they say in the shelf, like way deep in the ocean. But they're talking about it's not really deep, but it's on one level, lives a quandary. And Thnad is for Thnadners. And oh, they are sad. Oh, the big one you see has the smaller one's shadow. The shadow the smaller Thnadner has should be his. I don't understand it, but that's how it is. A terrible mix-up in shadows. Gee whiz. So yeah, the bigger Thnadners should have this really long one. But then they got the little one that should have this one, but he doesn't. So they're all mixed up. And Spaz is a letter I used to spell spasm, a beast who belongs to the Nazim of Basm. Handy for traveling, that's why he has 'em. More easy to pack than a suitcase or grip, whose horns carry all that he needs on a trip. A thread and a needle for mending his socks, his toothbrush, a cup, and 2 3-handed clocks. And his velvet umbrella, his vegetable chopper, and also his gold-plated popcorn popper, and a grasshopper cage for his favorite grasshopper. Wow, he gets to carry a lot of stuff on his horns, huh? And Flob is for Flob Bobber Bab Boober Buds, who bounces in the water like blubbery tubs. There's no good to eat. You can't cook 'em like steaks, but they're handy in crossing small oceans and lakes. And Zats is the letter I used to spell Zatsit, whose nose is so high and most nobody pats it. And patting his lonely old nose is the least that a fellow could do for his fine, friendly beast. So I get there and do it. I built an invention, the three-seated Nazit's nose-padded extension. If you try to drive one, you'll certainly see why most people stop at the letter Z, but not me. And jog is my letter for spelling jagoons, whose doodle around in the far desert dunes. Just doodle around crooning very sad tunes, and peppermint peanuts and pebbles and prunes, and painting pots and polka dots, pinheads and pigs, and their grandmother's grandfather's stepsister's wigs. So you see, there's no end to the things you might know. Depends how far beyond zebra you'll go. I have a letter called Flun, and the Flun is for Flinno, a softest nice fellow who rides in a tunnel. He only comes out of his hole, I'm afraid, when the right kind of softest nice music is played, on a kind of a hunting horn called the ogunth, and to learn how to play it takes a month after month of practicing isn't much fun, and besides it's quite heavy, weighs almost a tonneth. That's why few people bother to play the ogunth, so the funnel's been out of his tunnel just oneth. You guys, when you read this book, you have to let me know how much you've got tongue-tied reading this story. And any of Dr. Seuss's stories. And way, way past Z is the letter called itch. And itch is for itchapods, animals which race around back and forth and back through the air on a very high sidewalk between here and there. They're afraid to say there, they're afraid to stay here. They think there is too far and think their here is too near. And since here is too near and out there is too far, they're too scared to roost wherever they are. There's a letter called Yuck, and the yuck is for Yucko, who howls in an underground grotto in Gecko. These yuckos love echoes, and this is their motto. For best yucko echoes, try Gecko or our grotto. Oh, the things you can find if you don't stay behind. On a world near the sun live two brothers called Rooms, who, strangely enough, are built sort of like brooms. And they're stuck all alone up there high in the blue. And so to kill time, just for something to do, each one of these fellows take turns with the other in sweeping the dust off the world with his brother. Oh, look at all these different letters we're coming up with. And Hi is my letter for High Gargorum. Forgetting me places real fast. I'm all for 'em. They puffled along and their brakes never squeak, and they run every hour, every day of the week, from the town of North Nub to the town of East Ounce, making stops of at West Bunglefield, Yupster, and Jounce, and at Ipswich and Nipswich and also South Bounce, and another small town that's too hard to pronounce. I think a lot of these words are too hard to pronounce. What do you think? The places I took him, I tried hard to tell. Young Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell. A few brand new wonderful words he might spell. I led him around and I tried hard to show. There are things beyond Z that most people don't know. I took him past zebra as far as I could, and I think perhaps maybe I did him some good. Because finally he said, "This is really great stuff, and I guess the old alphabet isn't enough." Now, the letters he uses are something to see. Most people still stop at the Z, but not he. So now he is drawing a bunch of letters. This is the list of letters for people who don't stop at Z. So you see all the different letters like snee and jog. And oh, what's this one? There's one here. What do you think we should call this one? Anyhow, what do you think? You make up that letter. You tell us what it is. Let me know. And I do have a YouTube channel. On Facebook, it's a page for it, for this channel. So let me know. What kind of letter would you call the one at the end of this book? I'm curious. You guys let me know. For those of you who do take AR tests, this is a grade level 4.2. It's an AR level of 4.2, meaning it's 4th grade, 2nd month, and it is worth 0.5 points. So you want to make sure you get it right. Therefore, have somebody ask you questions after you've read this at least 3 times. Make sure you get all those questions correct. If you want to do an activity with this book, the older students, again, have them start making up letters, and then to make it even more complicated, again, have them make up the letters, have them write what the letter is, have them put it in a paragraph with rhyming words that rhyme with that letter. So you can give them one. The higher intellectual thinkers, you can tell them to give you 5 different ones. But I wouldn't have them write paragraphs of 5. You can tell them to choose maybe a few of them and give you, like a 4-line word that rhymes with the letter they've come up with. So that's something that you can have them do. For the younger ones, you don't necessarily have to have them make up a letter. You can give them a letter of your alphabet that you learn in your country, and ask them to come up with an animal that it starts with that letter. So like in the English language, say zebra, you can tell them the letter Z. What's an animal that starts with a Z? Everybody we know is a zebra. I think that's pretty much it of the animals that we have that starts with a Z. So you can give them, the younger kids, less complicated things to do. And you can have them draw, like just pick a letter. What's the animal that starts with O? In the English language, we have like an octopus, an otter. Those are examples, an owl. And then you can have those kids draw the owl while you're teaching them the letter O. So those are just some things that you can do with your students or with your child that you do have with you. So, on Beyond Zebra. If you like it, please click the video. Also, please follow my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it, and I would appreciate it if you would share it. I have links below I told you to let me know about that letter that they made up at the end. So check the links below, because there you'll have 2 Facebook pages. One is for this channel. One is for also my business page, as I do make different things for things that go with the books. Like I make, obviously jewelry. I make the bags. I do t-shirts. So just all different types of stuff. And if you look over here, I have the backdrop of the truffula trees with the Lorax. These are truffula trees that I made. In the links, I also have my other YouTube channel that is for my business, and it's strictly for making crafts. I started making crafts. So if you want to do a theme of Dr. Seuss for whatever, whether it be a room or your classroom, or you just like Dr. Seuss, this 3.5 foot set of trees, you can just do one. You don't have to do all 3. That other channel has it. Hopefully I'll be getting that up. If you're checking this video and it's not up yet, I'm hoping to get it up this week. I'll be teaching you other smaller ones to do as well. Those will eventually go up in about a month. And keep checking back. Hope you all have a good evening.